In a heart-wrenching tale of parental love and desperation, a father in Antigua and Barbuda stands resolute in his fight to be reunited with his 7-year-old son, allegedly taken from him by the very woman who was once his partner. Lyndon Bristol, who is originally from Guyana but has lived in Antigua for over 15 years, recounts the agonizing truth. His son Naik has been missing for over 2 years now. Naik was taken away when he was only 5. Their turbulent journey began in 2019 when Lyndon and the child's mother, who is Antiguan, parted ways. An event that spiraled into a painful divorce finalized in 2022. The couple lived in Borlands with their son Naik, and despite their efforts to establish a 50-50 custodial arrangement as ordered by the court, the road had been anything but smooth, marred by heated disputes and unresolved tension. Lyndon shared his story with Antigua.news.
A lot of issues that arises. She made a lot of demands. It was becoming very hectic for me to have him when I'm supposed to have him. And then she made a lot of accusations, false accusations against me, which were cleared by the court. And one of them would have caused for the parental custodial agreement to be paused until the information was proven to be false. After that, we had a whole big pause in the whole situation. Nothing was doing. The investigation went on pause, everything. We got the investigation started. My name was cleared. We were to revert to the custodial order, which was 50-50 until our court date. During that period, she still denied access to the child. She came up with more excuses of why I couldn't see the child, even though the court had already said, let's return to that. And then she took the child and she flew. She flew out to the country.
According to court documents seen by Antigua.news, neither parent can travel with the child without the consent of the other, and in breach of that, it will be considered parental abduction. So how and when did you find out that the child had traveled with his mom?
Funny story. When she called about me assisting her with the passport, it was a red flag for me, in which she involved my son. She said, your son and I are here at the passport office and we need to get his passport done. You said whenever we're ready, you'd be willing to sign his passport. I called my lawyer and I was like, although I'm excited for him to have his passport so we can travel, you know what I mean? I'm thinking like, this seems like a hit and run kind of situation. She's like, you know what, let's not be negative about it. You know, and the rest of the legal team was like, let's not be negative about it. Let's just go ahead with it because we don't want to hinder the child from having a passport. Went ahead, we did the passport procedures. Next week, they were out. They were out of the country on the 16th of March. I did some digging. We at first heard that she went to Turks and Caicos. We went to court with that. We had to cancel that court date because we had to summon the family there now because she's not there. So we summoned her 2 brothers, her aunt, her uncle, and also we did the court case with her lawyer present, and no one knew where she was, which is quite alarming because you just disappear and your whole family don't know where you are. And it got more interesting, and the judge decided, okay, she's going to have immigration give us all the intel we need in terms of where she would have left to. The next court session, we got that she went to Barbados. So my mother and the rest of my family, some of them went down because I couldn't go to Barbados at the time. Did some digging, results came up nil. They had already left Barbados. Now at this point, Barbados is not within our jurisdiction. We don't know where she is. We came back for the final court hearing in April, and I was granted full custodian of the child, and I'm still here waiting to have the child since I've been granted full parental.
Interpol has also issued a yellow notice for the boy and a red notice for his mother. This means they cannot travel legally without being flagged. Lyndon says since his ex-wife left Antigua and Barbuda 2 years ago, each day without his son weighs heavily on his heart, fueling his determination to reclaim the bond they once shared.
So first off, I want to thank the Honorable QT Benjamin for seeing me, taking time out of his busy schedule to see me, hearing me out, and offering legal aid with his lawyers and his team so that we could have gotten some progress. Because originally, when we went to Interpol last year, around April, just after we got awarded full custody, we were having a lot of hiccups with the Antigua and Barbuda police and the Interpol department in order to get stuff done. And there was a lot of delays, there were a lot of hiccups, there were a lot of holding back of information, there was a lot of not communicating with us and keeping us informed. And when I went to QT this year, January, he was upset about the situation. He got involved and we were able to have a yellow notice issued on my son. So now with that yellow notice, what it does, it says that the child has been abducted. It says that he's not to fly anywhere, and it says that they're to alert the Antigua and Barbuda authorities about the findings of my son.
The desperate father says he has been unable to reach his ex-wife since she left the island with their son. However, he believes that his son is not in harm's way. He attributes the situation to a woman acting out of spite.
I wouldn't say my son is in danger. I just think that his mother's just holding him back from me.
Why do you think she would do something like that?
For her own personal reasons. I would say bitter. I would say life didn't turn out the way that she foresaw it to be. I would say people make mistakes and they move on. And you look back and you have regrets. I don't want to speak on behalf of her too much, but that's just my personal opinion of viewing the situation. I would just say there's a lot of resentment towards me and what I have acquired after that relationship. But taking my son away from me is no way to kind of make anything fair or unfair or make anything just.
The court order also gave the child's father full custody and allowed for video calls with his mother once a week. However, he insists that he will never deny his ex-wife access to their child. This devoted father had a very heartfelt message for his son Naik and his mother, wherever they may be.
So to my son, I would like to say to Naik that I love you, never stopped loving you. I really miss you. And Daddy is doing as much as he can right now to have moments and share moments with you. At the end of the day, Daddy's going to fight to the end until he has you in his arms. For his mom, I would say I am tired of us fighting and going back and forth, and I just want for us to come to some resolution where I'm a part of my son's life.
This worried father says his heart aches with regrets as he reflects on the precious years that have slipped through his fingers, years with his son that he can never reclaim. He told Antigua.news that each day is a reminder of the laughter that should have filled his home, the milestones he wasn't there to witness, and the bond they could have forged. In addition to the financial burdens of hiring attorneys both in Antigua and Barbuda and overseas, Lyndon states that this heart-wrenching journey has taught him some difficult lessons.
This experience has taught me so much. I've been exposed to fathers and mothers in court. You sit there and you're waiting for your hearing to be called, and you're outside there and you're hearing that there's fathers that don't want to be a part of the child's life. There are fathers that are not providing for their kids, and there's fathers that want to but can't afford to. There's fathers that are going through so much And then there's still mothers that are doing this all by themselves, and they're carrying all the burden and all the load of being mother and father, and it opens your eyes to things that you're not really accustomed to, like hearing on a day-to-day basis. And it's touching to know that there's fathers out there that don't want to be a part of their kid's life. And I don't know what that's like, because I grew with my dad. I want to have those moments that I shared with my father with my son. And I would like to urge the fathers that haven't been a part of their kids' life to step up to the plate, because you don't want your child to be longing for love, attention, and affection from you, and it's not there. Because believe you me, they are hurting, and they do miss and they do long for that.
Meanwhile, his attorney, Monique Gordon, states that the matter has taken much longer than it should have. She says if the situation were reversed, the courts would have acted much more swiftly.
The Antiguan courts, I believe, ultimately came to the right conclusion. However, it took an extended period of time for us to get here. I think that if this were reversed and this was an issue of a mother being denied access to her child, I think that the courts would have moved much more swiftly. However, in Mr. Bristol's case, the mother of the child has, over more than 3 years, failed to, on many occasions, comply with the orders of the court. And we were back and forth in court, and each time the court would give her another opportunity. And I am strongly of the belief that that would not have happened if this was a father that was violating the court's orders.
The legal team has contacted both the FBI and U.S. Customs and Immigration, who have agreed to assist in any way they can.
We also contacted the United States State Department, the FBI, and U.S. Customs and Immigration. We have heard back from all of them that they are aware of the situation, and U.S. Customs and Immigration have agreed to assist us in whatever way possible. The State Department was waiting on the yellow notice, but everyone has been contacted.
In a world that feels so overwhelmingly unjust, one question remains: how far will a father go to bring his child home? This has been a production of Antigua.news. I am Shameen Big Charles.